Let's have a look at an example of using vectors. So we've got a triangle here, ABC. They're the vertices of a triangle, and we are told that D is the midpoint of BC. So we know that those two lengths are equal. So we're told that we're going to let A equals AB. Now, typically A would be OA, but for the sake of this example, they're going to label A to be AB. So that means that from A to B, so the direction of A is from A to B. The arrow is very important. Little b is BC. So this distance across here, all the way across is BC. So I'm going to rub out those little marks for the moment, and I'm going to put an arrow to indicate that that's B. So find each of the following in terms of A and B. So we're going to go from B to D. Okay, so B to D, and I'll highlight and then rub out as we go. B to D is this vector here. So if we are told that vector BD, so D is the midpoint of BC, and BC is equal to little b, then BD in terms of A and B would be equal to a half of B. Is that fair enough? And then we've got DC. Well, it's exactly the same. It's also a half B. Because it's the other half of the vector, and it's in the same direction. D to C is in the same direction as little b. What about AC? Okay, so I'll rub that highlighting out for a minute. Okay, let's look at AC. Well, AC is this vector here. Okay, that's AC. So in other words, this is asking me, I want to start at A, and I want to get to C. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I follow the path. It's like I can only follow, like you're in the jungle, and you can only follow the path that's marked for you. So you can't just make up a new path and head off in the randoms because you get lost. Vectors are the same. So if I want to go from A to C, I've effectively got to go around following the arrows from there to there. Okay, and so if I want to go along AC, well, I know that's equal to, and you don't need to write these steps down, but I'm going to just to highlight it. You go from A to B, and then you go from B to C. Well, in terms of A and B, which is what the question's asking us to do, then AB is A, and BC is B. So that's my answer. Okay, so that's that. Let's try a different example again. I'll rub out the marks that I've created. And we'll go back to AD. So this time I want to go from A to D. So I want to go that way. I need to go from A to D. Now, there's a number of ways I could go. Okay, I could go around that way, which I've defined already. All right, so I already have defined that to be. So from A to C, I can write it in, is A plus B. So I've already defined that. But I don't want to do that. Well, I can. Let's do that. So I can go that way, and then I've got to go backwards. Okay, so that would mean that if I wanted to follow that path, I'll do this one in black, I'd have to go A plus B, which is, actually I'll do it this way. I've got AC plus the negative of DC. Because see, DC has got the arrow pointing to the right, but I'm actually going the opposite direction. Right? So that's going to be equal to A plus B. And then DC we identified up here in question B, but it's minus a half B. So A plus B minus a half B is A plus a half B. Now, of course, you'd probably sit there thinking, why would you do that, sir? Why didn't you just go the other way? Why wouldn't you just go around here and over that way? And that's exactly what I would have done. Okay? So you could go AB plus BD, and you're going in the right order. We've identified BD earlier as a half, so AB is A plus a half B. My point of doing it that way is there are more than one way to do a problem. Okay? Question E. Let's do question E. It's CA. Okay, so CA is the opposite of AC. So that means that CA is going to be the negative of A plus B. You can write it that way. You could write negative A plus or minus B if you wish to. There's lots of ways you could write that. So that's how you do it. But the key with these sort of questions is you have to follow given paths. You can't make up new paths. And if you have to go in order. So if, for example, the AD one is a good example, you have to start at A and finish at D. So what path can you follow? And there's typically more than one. What path can you follow to go from the starting letter to the ending letter?